Well, good afternoon, everybody. And I'm here with Troy Howard from So Tell Us. It's So Tell Us. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on Troy. This is my introduction. So, Troy, one thing is very unique. He's always had a passion for combining technology and marketing. When I was reading your bio, Troy, it says you started off selling yellow page ads, and guaranteed at least five people listening to this go, "What? What's the yellow pages?"
Exactly.
that goes back to a prior era before technology was a thing. But you were the youngest executive in a company that was producing over 160 million a year in revenue. You started your own marketing agency, an international marketing agency. You're actually in 27 countries. You had thousands of customers, and then you launched So Tell Us. So I don't know your actual title. I'm assuming it's founder and CEO.
It is,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
So good. With that little bit, you've done a ton of other things. We actually got to meet each other face to face, person to person at the huge convention this year in 2021, which was a ton of fun. But I'd like to get a little bit of your backstory that brings you from like kind of selling yellow pages ad, whatever that is, up to today. You're like your blending of technology and marketing and how you're helping people in service businesses and other industries as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, it was back in 96, 97. I was traveling around to these little towns in Arizona and selling yellow page ads to small businesses because that's how we marketed back then. The internet was just getting going. And I was very lucky to be raised by a dad who was always looking towards the future. What's coming next. And I grew up with him selling World Book encyclopedias.
Oh, wow.
And he told World Book way back in the early 90s, hey, look, nobody's going to buy encyclopedias at some point. So we need to put these things on CDs so people can just access them on the computer. They told him he was absolutely crazy and they would never go out of business.
Yeah.
Another decade later, they're out of business, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So now imagine both he actually was selling yellow page ads. I was selling yellow page ads, and we're telling the owner of the company, like, these ads are awesome, but eventually, people are just going to want to look online. They're going to, use the internet, and they're going to do that. So that's where my passion for the internet started. And we both ended up leaving the yellow page industry because we're like, it's going to die. It's going to eventually go away. And we went into, the online space, and we started doing websites, doing website design, and internet marketing. And that really started to lead me down that road of, technology. And like you said, I was vice president of YP.com, which was the largest online yellow page directory, in the world.
Yeah.
We had about 350,000 clients.
Wow.
All around the world. But again, I saw the writing on the wall that eventually, even online directories, which is basically yellow page, that was going to go away too, and it just evolved, from there. So I've always been really, really interested in being able to help the small business owner grow. And at that point, I thought when I was, VP of that company, that's what I was doing. 350,000 clients, we're helping all these businesses grow, but I wasn't getting the experience that I wanted, right? Because I didn't get to work with any of those business owners. So eventually that's why I left corporate America and I started my own agency, was so that I could actually, work with a small business owner and help them grow their business.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing, because we had clients that, were huge and did, tens of millions of dollars, and, you increase their revenues by $1 million and they're kind of grateful. But you work with a small business owner and you take them from, $50,000 a year to $200,000 a year, and you've changed their entire life.
Yeah.
So for me, that's where that passion started. And for the last almost 2 decades, that's what we've done, is worked with small business owners to help them grow.
Okay. So when you started your agency, about how long ago was that?
So we started the agency back in 2006.
Okay. So what were the primary tools and things that you were using then to help people boost their presence online, to boost their business online? Was Google pay-per-click a thing then? Facebook wasn't.
Yeah. So back then we were basically focusing on websites, and then doing SEO, search engine optimization, to get people to rank in there. A big thing back then was doing the local listings, making sure that your business was listed everywhere.
Yeah.
They were just starting the Google My Business. I mean, it's gone through like 5 different name changes, but
Yeah.
back then it was Google Maps, and we were helping people do that and optimize it and get their ranking there. So we also did Google Ads as well, depending on the client. So we were pretty much offering any digital marketing service that was available at that time.
Okay. And so you've grown with that. So this was actually a really cool perspective. I didn't realize, having gone from, the physical to the digital version of Yellow Pages, but then realizing that is just, it's just a digitized version of, an ad board, that you saw that was going to go away, and it's going to be replaced by things like, I remember when Manta and, so, the different, like, you had to get your listing in 5 or 6 different things, and then they became Angie's List, and it became, then now you can advertise on Facebook, and then it was Google Ads, and now GMB, Google My Business, is the 800-pound gorilla for getting seen and getting known. One of our we've had a little group conversation with one of our masterminds, and today it's like 2 guys had their GMB shut down. They just like, and it came with a warning. It's like, here are the rules and regulations you need to read. And they're like, what do we do? We didn't do anything, but having grown through those different developments or iterations of marketing, or like, I don't even have the right word. It's not online marketing, but you've seen things grow and change.
Yeah.
Like, one of the questions we're going to ask, we're going to loop back around to, is use your crystal ball and tell us what changes are coming. But it's too early in the interview to talk about that, because we need to lay some groundwork. But put that in the back. We're talking about what's coming down the pipe, what's going to displace or enhance, GMB.
Okay.
Cool. So with that, you're working primarily with smaller businesses. And I love the perspective that you have, that, like, if you add $1 million to a $100 million company, they're like, ho hum, thank you. We didn't even know you were here, but that's nice. But if you double somebody's revenue, going, 100 to 200 or 300 to 600, it does change their world. Why the passion for the small guy?
I think it's because, growing up, my family was always, extended family were always small business owners, entrepreneurs, and I watched them struggle. My dad was always in sales, and I watched him, grow, and he would grow. And I'm sure you've seen this before, he would grow this amazing book of business where he would be the top salesperson in the country, or in the country and in the company. And I remember at one job when he was selling the Yellow Page, he was selling 3 times what the second best salesperson in the company was doing.
Yeah.
And, so that was like his business, right? Even though it was selling for that other company, it was his book of business. And I would watch them come in and say, okay, well, let's take part of Ron's book and let's give it to this guy and this guy and this guy, because we know Ron will go out and build more, right? He'll rebuild it again and again. And I thought, you know what? It's just, I don't like that. I don't like seeing people working really, really hard and not able to get ahead because there's not a level playing field. So for me, I wanted to change that. I wanted to be able to, give your mom and pop shop the ability to compete with, the $100 million company and win. And so that's really what I started looking at and focusing with my agency, was how to do that. And one of the ways we did that was with automation. Right. Mm-hmm. Because, your mom and pa, you're wearing all the hats in the business. You're doing 100 different things. And so you just, it's not that you can't do what you need to do to grow the business, it's that you don't have time to do it. Yeah. So we really focused on how can we automate things for our clients so that they can get stuff done even when they're not able to actually work on it. And once we kind of figured that out through automation, our clients were able to just skyrocket their businesses.
Okay, let's dig into that just a little bit, because automation is critical. I mean, this is the 80-20 show, so we're always trying to find ways and show ways. We're like, how can you get more done with less? Like less effort, less time, less energy, less money. Like I akin it to like a judo throw. Like you got like, I have a big opponent. He outweighs me by 100 pounds, but if I grip just right and turn a certain way, I use his strength and weight against him, and I use very little effort. So like, how do we judo throw somebody's business into faster growth or just more peace of mind through automations. When you were doing this with your clients, what were the things you always saw that every mom and pop were making manual that they could easily automate?
Yeah. So one of the first things was, getting their marketing automated, because again, most of them were out having to do the jobs, right? They're cleaning the carpet, they're washing the windows. So the problem they had is what I call the roller coaster. You would sell a job, you would get revenue in, you would be working on the job, but while you're working on the job, now you can't sell jobs and your revenues go down. And then as soon as you finish the job, you got to hurry and try to sell something else to bring revenue back up. And you could never grow because you're just going like this, right? Yeah. So once we taught them how to automate the marketing side of it so that the marketing was just going and going and going and going, it never stopped, then they could just continue to grow, right? Yeah. They could just continue to climb because all they had to do was focus on the jobs and not selling the jobs. And that was one of the big things. So we taught them how to, how to utilize their website, how to actually get people to take action on the website and to reach out to them, to close sales through their website, to use social proof so that by the time someone actually picks up the phone and calls them, they're already sold. Right? Yeah. You don't need to sell them on your services. All they want to know is the price and when can they schedule. Yeah. So it's utilizing all of that.
You definitely heard this objection. They're like, Troy, that sounds great, but I mean, nobody can sell it like I can. Like I got to be face to face. And when they get to know me, then they're going to say yes to me because I'm the guy. Like, and I can't do that for a website. I mean, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So that's a great question. And I do get that all the time. And my answer to them is, if that's the case, then you are never going to grow your business. You are never going to grow beyond you, right? Yeah. And so there has to be a way to do that. And there are ways to do that. So let me take a couple of responses to that. First, you said there's nobody who can sell my business better than me. That's not true. There was a study done that showed that a consumer is 40 times more likely to believe what your customer says about you than what you say about your business. So
40 times. 40
times.
40. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. So you may be a great salesman, but just one customer talking about how awesome you are, and sharing their experience with your company is way better than any sales tactic you have. Yeah. And I can prove that to you because all you got to do is think about referrals that come into your business. If you get 10 referrals, how many of those 10 people are you going to close?
Oh, if it's not 10, it's a surprise. I mean, it's
exactly
9, for sure.
Right. Yeah. It's 9 out of 10 people, right? Is that because you're an awesome salesman, or is it because your client shared their experience and the person was already pre-sold before you even talked to them?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you would have to try to screw it up.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. So that's the first thing I tell people right off the bat. Like, I know you're a great salesman. I'm not going to deny that you're great at selling your company, but your clients can do it better than you. So now how do we do that? How do we create an environment where your clients are selling your services, and we do it? And then how do we do that in an automated way? Right? Because, you can't rely on your client just constantly talking about your business and bringing you in referrals. And that's where, strategies where talk about getting more reviews is really a big part of that. Because if you think about it, all a review is it's a referral that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Yeah. And it's that anyone can see. So that's the difference, really targeting your marketing towards your clients talking about you. The reviews that you're getting from your clients will greatly increase your ability to sell your services and take that load off of you, where they will actually come in the door pre-sold. Yeah. And all you've got to do is schedule them. So that's one piece of it that I think is really important. And again, automating that, you may say that, well, I need to be in front of them. I need to sell them. Well, yes, you can do that. But you can also create videos. You can create things that you can send to customers that they can watch and learn from you, and learn about your services without you having to physically be there, and that's another big thing too. And then of course the follow-up is the other big thing. You've got to have follow-up when it comes to it. I can't tell you how many times businesses do a great job selling somebody, but then they don't follow up to actually close the sale.
Yeah.
And the follow-up is so important. I'll tell you, I have a lot of rental properties that I do. And I had one of my rental properties that needed a complete remodel. It was going to be probably $40,000.
Okay.
And my wife went out, got a bunch of people to bid it. And it was like 5 different companies. I was amazed. These are $30,000 to $40,000 jobs. She got the bids in the door. And she said, okay, well, what one do you think we should go with? And I said, well, which one followed up with you and asked if you had any questions, gave you a call back? And she goes, well, none of them did.
None. Yeah.
Not a single one. And I said, okay, great. I said, those 5 are out the door. We're not going to talk to any of them. Let's go get 5 new bids.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, come on. Like, I got to go through that process again. And I'm like, look, if they can't follow up on a $40,000 job, they're not the company I want. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can automate that follow-up. You can automate the follow-up. You can make it happen, using the right systems. People won't even realize that it's not you following up, that it's a system following up, but it makes all the difference in the world because your competitors aren't doing it.
Yes. Okay. Hang on. I'm actually taking notes while we're talking, but I have 2 specific questions for you. Hang on a second.
All right. No worries.
Okay, we're about to go Nerdville. Okay. All right. First of all, let's back up a step. We talk about the power of a referral. I mean, a referral is so powerful because the trust that your current client has is transferred to somebody you've not met yet, and they almost, like you'd have to screw up pretty bad to get them not to say yes.
Yes.
Here, I hear this way too much, even now, and it surprised me. And you've gone through this for a decade and a half of marketing. Having your agency and stuff. But I hear people tell me all the time, it's like, what do you do for marketing? They're like, I'm just doing a great job and they're going to tell all their friends. That's how I build my business. I'm like, how much time do you have? That's like, in theory, that's great. But you already know if you do a great job and wait for them to refer, it's like 1 out of 30 people are going to send you a referral just organically. Maybe that might be a little generous, but how many people even have a referral system in place, not even digital, just where they finish your job and they go, Troy, I really enjoyed working for you today. If you got any friends or family that love the kind of service we deliver, would you mind telling them? And like nobody asks.
No, they don't. I'm a nerd. I love numbers. So I'm going to give you a statistic on that. There's another study done that showed that 76% of people are willing to refer a business over to someone they know, but only 29% of them actually do it.
Wow.
And there's 2 reasons why. One is, you hit the nail on the head. We don't ask. We just never ask them to refer their friends and family. The second reason is we don't make it easy for them. And I'll give you a perfect example of this. I had this guy come, he cleaned my carpets, did an amazing job. At the end, he said to me, he goes, hey, Troy, is there anyone, friends or family that you would like to, or that you could refer over to us that need to get their carpets cleaned? And I honestly just said, no, unfortunately, there's not. And he's like, really? None of your family need their carpet cleaned? And I said, well, I have no idea. I don't inspect their carpets. I don't know their carpet cleaning schedule. So my answer to you is no, because I don't know. That's not something that I pay attention to. Right. I said, and even if I did pay attention, let's say my sister has disgusting carpet, stains everywhere, animals peeing on it, all that. Am I really going to say to you, oh yeah, dude, you have got to go clean my sister's carpets. She is disgusting. Like, there's no way I'm going to say that, because then you're going to call her up and be like, hey, I was talking to your brother, Troy, and he said that you really need your carpets cleaned. No, right? The guy didn't give me an easy way to refer my friends and family to him. So I didn't do it. Right. So that's what we got to think about is, 1, make sure it's a part of our process every single time. And then 2, give them a way that they can promote our business and refer people over to us where it's little to no work on their part.
Yeah. Okay. So that takes us right into, so tell us in some of the automations, but like, how do you automate that process? How do you make it drop dead simple? And how do you make it something where, like, we have techs in the field that are not me. I always ask because I'm the owner and I'd love to ask, and I get that relationship, it jazzes me up, but I'm not in the field anymore. So it's part of the script and part of the things my guys do. They probably do it 50% of the time, and but like you said, every single time. So how do we make it
Yes.
drop dead simple so that even my newest guy can do it?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do at Sotellus is, just to give you guys a brief description of kind of what the system does, is our system's there to help you get more reviews, more referrals, and get people to take action, claim special offers from you, and then web, like chat with you through web and things like that. And the way we do that is we start with the review. We help businesses capture reviews from their clients in less than 30 seconds because we know that that's the best marketing material we could get. Right?
Yeah.
That's how we're going to convince other people to buy your services. So we start with capturing that review. When the client gives a review, then our system automatically follows up with them and gives them the opportunity with the click of a button to share the review they just gave your business on their Facebook page with all their friends and family. So yeah. So now you're not asking, hey, give me your sister's phone number, dude. Like, I want to call your sister. It's not that creepy guy, right? Instead, what you're saying is, hey, you just gave us a 5-star review. You loved our service. If you click that button right there, it's going to actually share out your review on your Facebook page with all your friends and family. And by the way, it'll also give them a little special offer, a little bonus, a discount, because they know you. Yeah. And then the client just clicks that button. Our system creates the post, which includes the review that they just talked about you with the offer, posts it on their Facebook page. And now all their friends and family are going to see that when they're scrolling through Facebook. And what's cool about it is it's not like it's just going to be an ad that they see in their Facebook feed. Yeah. They're literally going to see their sister saying, I use this company. They were absolutely amazing. And, everybody I know should use them. And then right there is an offer for $25 off that they can click on and claim that special offer. And then what our system does is, the person claims the offer, and then we immediately notify you, hey, Bob Smith just claimed your offer. Here's his email. Here's his phone number. And by the way, he was referred to you by Sarah. Yeah. Or we can push that right into your CRM and it can go into automation there, if you have automated follow-up there. But the key is that you're basically turning your clients into promoters of your business, and you're leveraging their social media networks to generate new jobs. And what we found is that our clients will get multiple referrals, multiple people claiming that special offer off of a single client, because now they're not just talking about it to one friend, it's going in front of all their friends. And then to answer your question with the tech, the great thing about it is the tech doesn't really have to do much. All he does is ask for the review. The system asks for the referrals, right? Yeah. So the system is going to make sure that every single time you're going to ask those clients for a referral before you walk out that door.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So you and I spent a little bit of time. We actually did an interview for the huge convention, prior to the huge convention. And no kidding, like I'm flummoxed that I didn't grasp the amount of friction you've taken out of the whole process. But so there are two things about it that excite me, that you already know this, but I want to obviate for people. So there are a number of services as a software or software as a service that help people gather reviews and make it easier. One in particular, they're really good, but they like the difference between what you're telling me and what they do. Like anytime I get a review, it takes it and it posts it on my business Facebook page and promotes it as a post, and that's cool. But that's like you're saying, like if I'm bragging about my business, that's a lot less effective than Sally Jo Weaver bragging about my business because she's a customer. 40 times, that's more than order of magnitude. And so you're taking your great clients and turning them into advocates and like really, miniature social media influencers on your behalf without any effort. Like zero effort.
A click of a button. And that's the key, because there, like you said, there are a lot of systems out there that will help you get more reviews. Yeah. But what none of those systems do is take those reviews, turn them into actionable marketing that is going to, go out and create jobs coming back in the door. Like we push it all into, okay, great. You saw the review. Now claim an offer. Right? Now claim this special that we have over here. Now take action here. It's all about people taking action because that's how you get jobs. Yeah. Yeah. And what's additionally really cool about this, a lot of times, when I'm teaching about business and people like,
I ask people, who's your competitor? They clean carpets in, in Billings, Montana. They're like, oh, AAA carpet cleaning. I'm like, none of that. You are not competing against other carpet cleaners today. You compete against Amazon.
Yes.
Like, Amazon doesn't clean carpets. I'm like, yeah, but Amazon owns a marketplace of convenience. And
Yes.
like, if I run out of, I need a new router or a new hard drive, I click 2 buttons and 48 hours later, it's sitting on my porch. There is no friction in that. But everything that you do in your business that adds a step, that adds confusion, that adds, any amount of responsibility for your customer to take care of it, that's just one more reason for them not to do it. So
yeah, and that's a really good point. Like, even if we talk about reviews, the average business, maybe 5% of their customers will give them a review. But if you build automation into it and you make it seamless, you can get that up to 20, 30, 40. We have clients who literally get reviews from 75% of the people that they see, because we remove the friction. Like you said, we're making it so easy. It's one click kind of thing and they're done. And that's what you've got to do in your business. Yeah,
for sure. Okay. We're not ready to go back to the evolution of what's next. That's going to be a little bit later. All right. I had 8 questions for you and we've kind of answered a bunch of them. Let me look for just a second. All right. I hate dead air, by the way.
No worries. It gives people time to think and ponder what we've talked about.
Yeah. So while I'm looking for my next question, dear listener, when you're hearing this, think about, how are you going to get more reviews? How are you going to leverage that to maximize your business? How much could your business grow if you had automatic, instant, and unpaid advocates selling for you 24/7 while you're just doing something else? Think about that for a second. And here comes my question. Okay. What's the hidden power of a review? Now, you've got statistics and stuff. And so I'd love to hear stats and numbers. But people know you have to have reviews. You look at reviews before you buy something online. You're going to get a new pair of shoes from Nike. You read the reviews.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'll give you the statistic and then I'm going to give you a story to illustrate it. So the statistic is 86% of people will believe or consider a review as good as a recommendation from a personal friend. So you think about that. I want to rephrase that a little bit. 86% of people will believe what a total stranger online says about your business as if their best friend said the exact same thing.
Okay.
That's the power of reviews. The other thing that comes with reviews is 9 out of 10 people say they are willing to pay more money if they can ensure that they're going to have a superior experience. Yeah. So the reason why that's important is, if you want to charge more for your services in your sales presentation, in your sales strategy, you need to convince them that they are going to have a superior experience before you ever talk about price. And if you can do that, then they're going to pay you more money. So the best way to do that is to use your customer reviews, share your customers' experiences, because they will believe those experiences are true, which means they'll be willing to pay more. Now I'll share a story in our business. So back in 2009, we created a company and a product, a marketing service that we were launching, and we launched it. And we were doing Google ads, Facebook ads, all this stuff. And it just wasn't working. The product was amazing, but the advertising wasn't working. And we couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. It just didn't click. And we were marketing it with a video. And in the video, we went through and we showed them all the cool things that the software did and blah, 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 right? And this is what you're going to get. And it just didn't work. We did it for about 6 months and got sales, but not what we wanted. We went back to the drawing board and we said, you know what, let's go take our clients that have been utilizing this system. Let's capture video of their experiences and let's share those. So we did that. We flew around the country. We got videos of our clients sharing their experience. There was one guy, Laredo, who talked about how in his business, he's a commercial cleaner, did $140,000 a year for 10 years, started using the system, did over $400,000 the very next year, and then he went from there, just growing. We captured that. We captured, what it did for his business. We captured what it did for his personal life. And we went back, we completely changed our sales video to where it was mostly, the majority of it was these clients sharing their experiences. And you know what happened? In 6 months, We generated over $500,000 in recurring revenue in that company.
Yeah.
And the only thing that the product never changed, the people answering the phone and selling it never changed. The only thing that changed was we used our customers' experiences in the sales process so that before they even talked to us, and when they came in the door, all they wanted to do was purchase.
Yeah.
Our sales guys were like closing 10, 20 sales a day because they weren't going through a 45-minute demo of the product. They were just taking orders. And that was it. That was the difference. That's the power of having people talk about your business.
Yeah. That's beyond huge. And that really, like, in, an 80-20 principle, like, that's a hidden lever. It probably, like, once you did it, you probably thought, God, that wasn't even hard. Like, all we did was have people tell their story, and people love to tell their story. And
Yes.
like that tiny lever, it's like the tiny hinges that swing big doors. Like,
yes,
revolutionize your sales. When you first started telling that story, you said we flew around the country to get the videos, and I thought, like, why didn't you just use Zoom? You're like, this was 2009. This was 12 years ago. There was no Zoom. Like,
absolutely. That's what we had to do. We literally had to fly around the country and get those videos. Now, like our clients can send a text message and capture a video from someone anywhere in the world in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
I love technology.
There's one piece of pure gold. There's a lot of gold in this, but I just want to reiterate for our listeners that you said 90% of people will pay more if they think they're going to get a superior experience, which, like, and that, like, I know one person I can think of that does not want to raise their prices because they think nobody's going to pay it, and they feel guilty if they get paid more. I don't feel guilty when I get paid more. I feel thankful, like, because margin makes your business move. So
exactly. And you should never feel, if you're providing a superior product, if you're really doing the amazing job that you say that you are, you should never feel guilty about charging more money.
Yeah. Yeah. It's strictly a value exchange. If you're given, value is what you price is what you pay, value is what you get.
Exactly.
People will pay more for more value. That is huge. There's a hidden benefit to reviews that I don't hear mentioned very much. And that is the psychology of when I recommend somebody, if I refer you, or if I give a testimonial about you, then it's 90% I will never leave you, because I've given my word that you're great. And so now I can't leave, because it would be inconsistent with what I've already proclaimed publicly. So
yeah, exactly. There is a psychology behind that. And that's one of the reasons why you want to get as many reviews from your customers as possible, because then they are bonded with you, and, they become your ambassadors. And, the more that you can get from them, the more of their experience that you can get them to share, the more they're going to share that with everybody else too.
Yeah. How many reviews is too many?
Oh man, there is, you can never have too many reviews. And I'll give you another reason why. There was, again, I love studies. There was another study done, and it showed that reviews that were older than, in a specific age group, in the demographic of the 25 to about 40 age group, reviews that are older than 3 months, they disregard.
Wow. 3 months is like yesterday. I mean, that's not old, right?
And here's the psychology behind it. It makes sense when you really think about it, because if you look at a company and they have amazing reviews that are 3 months old, and they have no reviews right now, right, in the last 3 months, all that tells you is 3 months ago, they were awesome. But in the last 3 months, something changed, because nobody has said they're awesome at all. So there's no limit to the number of reviews you need, because you constantly need to be getting new reviews to make sure that people will continue to believe them.
It surprises me, just like once in a while, you still run into somebody that doesn't have a website, and you're like, what? I mean, 5 years ago, that was a big, like, you got to be kidding me. Why don't you have a website? And like, now when I see companies that don't have, a lot of reviews, they got 3 reviews. I'm like, what are you doing? It doesn't even cost anything to get a review. I mean, maybe just an ask, or, add some software to it to streamline and automate the process. But we have a goal in our company to have 10 times more reviews than the next guy.
Oh, that's great.
Every time they get one, we have to get 10 more if we're pacing to get, and we're well ahead now, but that could change. But like, I want to be the company that people just look and they're like, oh, you got 350 reviews. Next guy has 20. I'm not even call the next guy for any reason.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's an unfair advantage.
Yeah. Here's the thing. 7 out of 10 people are going to go research your business online before they'll even pick up the phone. And that stat is, even if they've been referred to you, they will still go look you up online and they will check it out. Yeah, because they want to see what people are saying about you. So if you don't have reviews, if you don't have a strategy in place to get a ton of reviews, then you are going to lose business. It's really simple. Just think about, I want everyone to think about, when's the last time you went to Amazon, you were looking to buy a product and you saw one that had, 500 reviews, one that had, 10 reviews, and one that had 0 reviews. How many times have you bought the one with 0 reviews?
Yeah,
never.
Never. Right.
Never. Right. We have been trained in society now to, if you don't have reviews, then it's almost worse than having negative reviews, because it's like nobody's even used your business at this point. Right.
Yeah.
Like, so you have to, there's no way to get around it in today's society. You have to have a strategy to build those reviews.
Yeah. And even guys that have like, I'm a little bit older. We've had our business pre-internet to internet days. And I know guys that think about, they're like, well, I've got my regular customers. I don't need to do all this stuff. I'm like, guess what? And if you just want to go backwards, that's fine. But if you want to grow, if you want to even stay even, you have to adapt. You have to move forward. And like, what's the downside to getting ahead of your competition, having a better business with a higher profit margin, and you have more time and more freedom? I don't see the downside.
Yeah, I'll actually give you a story to that, because I did have a client once say to me, he goes, I don't need reviews. I don't need marketing. I don't need these, I don't need any of that stuff, because, I've been in business so long that my clients have been with me for 30 years and we're rocking it. Yeah. I don't need any more jobs. 5 years later, the guy calls me up and he's like, so I need to make a change. And I'm like, really, what's going on? And he's like, so my clientele, they're very loyal, but they're very old.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have died in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And he goes, and my business is going down. Like my revenues are going down and I have nothing. I have no reviews. I have no marketing. He goes, you told me this was going to be a big mistake, and you were right. He goes, because I was just resting on my laurels. I wasn't building my business towards the future. And, and he took a hit, and we turned around, we helped him and helped him get back into it, and start attracting younger clientele. But you don't want to be in that boat.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right. So I'm one question away from the crystal ball. All right.
All right.
And this is, and I had alluded to it earlier, or in the email sent, like, what's a habit or a philosophy or maybe a principle that you have or you follow or you apply that allows you to be more effective, that allows you to get more done with less? And this could be as simple as, I get 9 hours of sleep every night, to make me more effective. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be a way of thinking, because you've moved a mountain with your digital enterprise, with their software development. I don't even know if you do software development personally, or if you just said, this has to happen, we're going to find somebody. But I'm looking for a principle or a philosophy that makes you more effective.
Yeah, absolutely. So the philosophy that I live by, which, by the way, I am not a programmer. I don't know how to code. I just know how to look at businesses, look at problems, and then come up with ways to solve those problems that nobody else has. So that's one of the things that I always look at. I always look at every problem ahead of me of, okay, how can I solve this? And how can I do it in a way that's different than maybe everyone else has done it, that will give me an advantage over, everybody else. And I would say for me, the biggest thing would be automation. I always try to figure out how to do something, do it well, and then automate it, so that I don't have to do it anymore, or so that my staff doesn't have to do it anymore. Okay. And the kind of power that gives you, for example, we've got 4,000 clients in 29 countries right now. When I ask people, how big do you think our company is? Most people say, oh, you probably got 50, maybe 100 employees, to run a company of that size with that many clients. And the answer is no. The answer is, I have 10 people in my company.
Okay. Wow.
But the key is automation. right?
Yeah.
The key is automating the tasks, automating communication, automating everything that's done so that one employee is worth, 20 or 30 employees.
Okay.
Because I'm empowering them with automation. And once you can figure that out in your business, once you can figure out how you can automate the tasks in your business that are, I don't want to say beneath you because they're important tasks, but they're not the tasks that you as the owner should be doing in the business, right? Yeah. There are tasks that maybe an employee should be doing, or even better than that, there's a system that can do that task for the employee so that your employees are free to do, things that generate even more revenue for you. So yes. For me, it's all about automating and then focusing, like you said, the title of the podcast, I focus on the 20% that makes me 80% of the revenue, and the rest of it, I automate it so that I never have to look at it.
Okay. So what's a process that you use or that you've taught your team to use to automate stuff? Like, you figure out, okay, this is how we do it. And then you have to turn that into a process. Then you have to automate it. Is it always software related, or like, if you could think of something simple and walk us through like a process to automate something?
Absolutely. So one of the things that we did is, because we deal with so many clients, we have a lot of communication that's going out that needs to be sent out. We need to be checking in with clients. We need to make sure that, they're getting things done, because we really try to make sure they're successful. So if I were to have employees just sitting there all the time, emailing the people and following up and seeing how they're doing, that would be, 80% of their day, and they wouldn't be able to help new customers. So what we did is we figured out what is the best communication cycle for our customers. What do they need to hear? When do they need to hear it? And then we built automation into that. So now one of our success coaches, when a new client comes on, they're going to, meet them, they're going to work with them, they're going to get them excited, get them going. And then we have automated communication that's going out to them, following up, checking on them. How's this going? Have you thought about this? Are you doing this? And that's all happening. Now, when a response happens, it goes back to the success coach, and the success coach is right there to take care of it. Right.
Okay.
But, the rest of that automation is being handled, through a system. And then the success coach just has to step in at the moment of intersection with the client when the client needs something. And I think we send out, honestly, about 100,000 emails a month.
Wow. Okay.
And the majority of those are automated.
Automated. Yeah. Shouldn't you just hire an extra 50 people to type out all those emails? Yeah. And not even copy and paste, type them all from scratch.
No, because the system that I use to do it cost me like $200 a month.
Exactly. Right. Okay. You might know an easy answer off the top of your head, but this is like, I bump into things all the time. I'm like, how can I automate it? Not just make somebody else do it. So here's an example, and maybe you already know the answer to this. I'm just gonna throw it out. So when we're creating training videos, I used to think they had to be perfect, and we'd set up the tripod and we'd film it and we'd edit it and we add sound, and all the new people that we train, we have a window cleaning business. They don't care about production value. They just want to do their job. So what we do now is, everybody's got a phone in their pocket, and we're on a job. We come up with something unique, like stop, video it. We just take the video, we upload it to YouTube, and then we put that into a Trello deck and label it under, this is about screens or windows or mineral deposit, whatever category. There's probably a way to automate that. So like once I record the video, I can hit a button, and whether it's using Zapier or something else, it goes YouTube and then gets stuck into a particular, card file in my Trello deck. And then we can organize that by drag and drop. Is that the stuff you look for? Is that something Troy, can I do that?
Yeah, I would actually look at Zapier. I think you could probably do it through Zapier, connecting the different integrations. But yeah, that's exactly what you should be looking for. You shouldn't be spending the time doing it, uploading it, creating, that is, I was going to say $3 an hour job, but that's a job that should be paid, minimal to really nothing. No one should be paid for it because it should be automated. But I love what you're talking about, doing that, because it's doing those things and then getting it done quickly and fast and good enough, right? Is important. I always tell people, the enemy of profits is perfection.
Ooh. True.
And I'm pretty sure that's my quote. So, because I have never heard anyone say it, but it's really true. The enemy of profits is perfection. And I look at like Sotellus and I tell people, let me just take Sotellus. If I we launched Sotellus 5 years ago. If I would have waited for Sotellus to be exactly what I wanted it to be and built it out exactly the way it is today, I would have spent 5 years and made zero revenue. Yeah. Instead, I launched a really good product and then I built and built and built and built upon it. And I've generated millions of dollars in revenue in that 5-year period. So whenever you're looking at something, whenever you're looking at, systems in your business or your business in general, always remember that perfection, or that perfection is the enemy of profit. Is what can I do to make it good enough, right, to keep my profits there?
Yeah, that's again vast. Okay, I want you to get out your crystal ball. So when we first talked before, we were just talking about Sotellus, and I thought, oh, this is video reviews and stuff, but you started layering in, and we haven't talked about it here as much, but there's a lot more that you guys do at Sotellus than just get a video review. You describe that here as you turn it into an automated, marketing machine that you have your clients or my clients go ahead and market for me. But there's a lot more going on at Sotellus, and I don't know if if you can talk about it or if it's like not ready to be revealed yet, but seeing the future is like at some point, even though you can't imagine that, can anybody beat Google? Well,
yes.
you know who was poised to be Google, or when it was Yahoo and Microsoft. They should have owned that because they had a distinct and big advantage. And things change, and there's no more Kodak. They like, oh yeah, those guys are gone because
the previous CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, was interviewed and he was asked that question, can anyone beat Google? And his answer to that question was, we are one bad search away from being irrelevant.
Yeah. Wow. And think of that. They're $1 trillion company. Same thing with, Amazon, and Jeff Bezos as CEO before he moved out of that position he said, they had the philosophy of today is day one.
Yes.
I'm like, you're a $2 trillion company. How can you say this is day one? They're like, no, it's day one. Like, we have to earn it today and make it better for tomorrow. So yes, they're fighting hard to stay in first place, but things are changing rapidly. Well, what do you guys have on your horizon? What are the areas for, the service business and for people that are in business in general that like they can duplicate it, they can automate it, they can move, this from hard work to repetitive. Nobody's even doing it. It's just happening. And what are you've already taken 2 or 3 judo throws at big pain points in the industry. What else is in the what else is in the laboratory?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, again, for us going forward, we started out with video reviews and then getting Google reviews and Facebook reviews. And then we started getting referrals for our clients. And then it was, call to actions was our next focus, like the special offer system that we built to, publish your special offers on the internet, and get people to claim those offers. And then the most recent one we launched was web chat, which we haven't even talked about, but we built a web chat system that is built for the service industry. Okay. And if you don't mind, I'll take just a few seconds to talk about that, because most service industries, they don't have web chat. Why? Because they are not sitting in front of a computer all day, waiting for someone to chat with them through their website. They're out doing the job. So we realized that. And again, we're like, okay, how can we leverage that technology and that benefit, but for people in a different way? So what we did is we created a web chat system that you can add to your website from Sotellus. And basically, when someone comes on the website and starts to chat with you, we immediately send a text message to the business owner or whoever they want to receive it, within 3 seconds of the chat starting, that says, hey, Brian wants to chat with you. Click to accept. So they get this text message. They could be out in the van, they could be out on the car, wherever, they could be at lunch, whatever it is. They get the text message, they click the link. It opens a secure communication between them and the customer or the potential customer who's on their website, and they can start chatting. And so it gives them the ability to chat anywhere in the world that they are. It doesn't matter. Now, the cool thing about that is they may be on a ladder cleaning a window. and they can't take a chat right then. The system will notice that they're not picking up the chat, and then it will start to take over. So it will say, while I'm trying to find a representative for you, what is it that you're looking for? Oh, well, I want to find out what it costs to get, this many windows cleaned on a 2-story building. Okay, excellent. It looks like no one's available at this moment. How would you like us to contact you? Do you want us to text you, email you, or call you? Well, I want to be texted. Okay, great. Now, what number do you want us to text you at? Okay, great. So then it will immediately notify the business owner, hey, Brian wants a quote on, 2-story house with this many windows, and he'd like you to text it to him at this phone number. So we automated the capture of that lead. If Brian's not available to take or if the business owner is not available to take the chat. Now, why is that important? Because nearly someone who chats with a business on their website is nearly 3 times more likely to purchase from them than someone who doesn't chat. So, yeah.
Where do you pick up these stats? Is this just stuff that you guys have learned and tracked, or you like?
Oh no, I
on the pulse.
I've got my finger on the pulse, and I'm always reading studies and that are done, because I'm really interested in finding out. For me, numbers are really important, so I want to know. So so if someone chats with you on your website, they are pretty much ready to buy, or close to it. So that's why we built that system in there. So that's something it's in beta right now. We're rolling it out to all of our customers. The future is we're going to continue to build more and more systems into the Sotellus, what we call the Sotellus suite. So right now we're working on a survey system that will be part of Sotellus, so that our business owners can reach out. They can ask specific questions about their business, so they can survey their clients, find out what their clients really want, what their clients don't want, where they're doing a great job, where they're not doing a great job. Right. And then that can roll into, oh, we're doing a great job. Great. Let me get a review. Let me get the marketing out of you. Let me, so it all rolls together. But surveys is a really big part of the next phase for us. And then video and text marketing is also another very big project that we're working on, because we all know the majority of internet consumption is video.
Yeah.
So, right now we help our clients capture video reviews, which is awesome. They're very, very powerful, but we're going to give them the ability to also make other videos and turn those into marketing right through our system as well.
Oh, okay. That's really cool. Yeah. You streamline. Again, I always talk about taking the friction out of the transaction or out of the process for my customer, but usually we're not talking about taking the friction out of the process for me.
Yes.
I'm talking about it. I want it out. But there's a lot of heavy lifting that small business owners do, that creating your own video marketing, they would just not know how to approach that.
No.
It gets even worse.
And they shouldn't.
Yeah. That's not your specialty. I have my oldest son used the video crew that was at the huge convention. Was my oldest son headed up that crew. That's his team.
Oh, and awesome.
So he does video production. He does a lot of music videos. He does amazing creative work. And the one company he hates working for is me. It's not that he loves working with me personally. We get along great, but he's like, Dad, you're like, your company's boring. I'm like, it's not boring. It's a cool company. It's like, making videos about window cleaning is boring. I was like, how can we spice it up? He's like, so I can't even get my own son to do it. So we have to do our own, and it scales it back. And it becomes a pain point because I don't edit video. I'm not going to fool with it. So I'm excited about all that. I'm excited about making video marketing the way you guys are going to approach it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Okay. Well, that's probably all the time we have. I like to keep these interviews shorter because it is the 80-20, but sometimes I just get into nerd zone. When somebody loves marketing and automations like you do, I'm like, if you get over the hump of transitions are usually challenging, but if you can get past the pain point of making a change from the way you've been stuck to the way it can be, then it frees up time, space in your head, and it's a beautiful thing. So I love what you're doing. Yeah. Now we just need a little cattle prod for every small business owner to go like, just do it. Like, you're going to be so happy. Like
exactly. You won't regret it.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to add before we go?
My only thing is, like I said, I love working with small businesses. I love working with business owners. So I always throw this out there. If anyone has any questions, if they have questions about anything that we've talked about today, I am happy to be available. And answer any questions. You don't have to be a client of mine to pick my brain. So, if there's something that you just want to know, something that we, like stirred up in your brain and you're like, man, I wish I knew that, or I wish you could ask him that, reach out to me and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, great. So what's a good way for people to reach out to you? Don't give us your cell number, but like we go to sotellus.com. I'm sure you have a blog. There's probably a contact. But is there a certain email or a method you would like people to use if they want to contact you? And we'll just put it in the show notes. So
yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. They can just reach out to me at troy@sotellus.com. And that will actually get right to me. So like I said, I'd be happy to help out any way I can. And anyone who's interested or wants to learn more about Sotellus, you can definitely just go to sotellus.com and learn, more there about the service. But we'd love to, work with anybody and help anybody we can.
Yeah, cool. And for anybody that's considering it, like, is this a good thing or not? Didn't talk about this at all, but at the huge convention, you had one of our featured breakout sessions. I don't know how many people were in the room, but in the span of 20 minutes, we had over 200 reviews, video reviews, like whoop, upload it, put on the site for the huge convention. One of them that actually, I haven't been able to review them all because there's so many. One, and I don't know if it was your dad or not, but somebody videoed you on stage while posting and was talking over it, posting their review of Sotellus.
Yeah.
That was very clever.
Yeah, that was one of the people in the audience. That wasn't someone from my team. We asked them for them to do their video review, and instead of doing theirs, they just recorded me. So
yeah,
it was great.
Then we had a young man record his video review while riding a mechanical bull.
That was my favorite one. That was awesome.
I'm like, here we go. This is fun. Well, cool. Well, thank you very much. And for everybody listening, like, any reference or resource that we hit on, or even Troy's contact information and more information about Sotellus, we made it easy. We stick it in the show notes, so you can just point and click and you can get wherever you need to go. And Troy, I really appreciate your time. And more than anything, I appreciate the work that your team is doing to make life for the service business easier, more effective, and better. You guys are really moving the needle for the service business industry, and I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. We love the service industry. We started, our very first clients in, 20 years ago were carpet cleaners in here in the US. And so we've been with the service industry for over 20 years. And for me, that's the bread and butter of the United States. These are the guys and girls that have to wear so many hats and have to face so many struggles building their business, by the sweat of their brow. So anything we can do to help them, we're there for it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right. Yeah, let me hit the